Hi, Karina here, Natural Health Missionary, and I'm here with part 2 of the series I'm doing all about food. If you haven't seen part 1, I recommend you go and watch that first before watching this one, because this is a follow-on video from that. And there's also going to be a part 3 of this as well. So this one is going to be about Adam's diet, what we should eat. The first one was Adam's diet, what is a herb of the field. Now it's like, okay, so what should we eat? And the following part 3 is going to be about food combining. How should we combine it? Because there are different food combining rules that we should follow. One particular one is to do with fruit and vegetable. Should we mix fruit and vegetable? If so, how? If not, why? And all that. So I'm going to be explaining those. That's what's going to be coming up next. But without further ado, let's just say a word of prayer, because I want this to be a short video, and also just I want the Lord to guide me and guide us as we study these things out. So just pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for your mercy, your grace, your love, your guidance, and everything that you're doing for us, Lord. And let's pray, Father, that as I'm going through this presentation with the world, whoever's watching on YouTube, that it will be informative, that it will be the truth. And Lord, if there's anywhere where I'm not speaking the truth, please let me know, because I only want to share the truth. I only want to be living and doing the truth myself, and only teaching the truth, Lord. So I just pray that what I am sharing is actually right, and that it'll be well received, and that people will be educated, informed, and being able to go forward and improve their own health, and improve the health of others too, so that we can have clear minds to understand your truth even further. So again, I thank you, Father, and that it will be done in Jesus' name. Amen. Alright, so this presentation, like I said, is called Adam's Diet, what should we eat? So, and it's a follow-on from the previous video that I did. So we spoke about in the last video about being sinless and the sinless diet, and that was the reason why I ended up going on a study to find out what was the sinless diet that Adam had, that we are to have now, that's best for us to get that sinless state. And that's why the previous video about what is a herb of the field came up, and there was another reason as well, but that was one of the reasons. And so we have this quote here, but before I speak about this quote here, I'm going to ask you, are you one of God's people? I want to be, and I believe I am one of God's people. And the next question is, are you striving to be sinless? I'm trying to do that because we need to overcome sin, because if you know anything about the end times, you will know that Jesus is in the most holy place right now, interceding for us, and at some point he's going to finish that work and step out of the most holy place. And those people who believe in him at that time, who are alive, need to be able to stand without a mediator, and also be there sinless, and be a representative to the world that indeed God is true and his laws can be kept. And do you know that God is really helping us to be able to do this and achieve this, and he's giving us so much instructions to help us to accomplish that. And this thing about food and how we are to eat is part of it. And so we have this quote here. It says, God will give his people ability and tact to prepare wholesome food. It said, let our people discard all unwholesome recipes. Let them learn how to live healthily, teaching to others what they have learned. Let them impart this knowledge as they would Bible instruction. How important is Bible instruction? Let them teach the people to preserve health and to increase the strength by avoiding large amounts of cooking. You increase the strength by avoiding large amounts of cooking that has filled the world with chronic invalids. By precept and example, make it plain that the food which God gave Adam in his sinless state is the best for man's use as he seeks to regain that sinless state. So do you see why it's important to know what God gave Adam to eat in the Garden of Eden in his sinless state? So if you can see that, that's the reason why. If you haven't watched it already, go and watch the other video that I did, part 1, what is a herb of the field, okay? Now, I'm not suggesting that we do away with that food altogether. I'm just saying that we need to have it in a smaller amount than what we're used to, or what is known now. So, moving on, a plain, simple but liberal supply of fruit is the best that can be placed before those who are preparing for the work of God. Now, are you a Christian? Are you one of God's people? Do you want to be a Christian? Do you want to be one of God's people? Do you want to be involved in his work? Well, put before yourself a liberal supply of fruit, because it's the best food for you if you're preparing to do the work of God. It says, we are coming to a time when recipes for cooking will not be needed. For God's people will learn that the food that God gave Adam in his sinless state is the best for keeping the body in a sinless state. Okay? We're going to learn this stuff. This is new. Relatively new, you know? It's new, okay? It's something that we need to we'll learn, that we're going to do. Yes, we have subsided on cooking and lots of good, nice, healthy recipes, vegetarian cookery classes and all sorts of stuff. Brilliant, wonderful. We need to learn something new. The more we depend upon fresh fruit, just as it's plucked from the tree, the greater will be the blessing. Okay? It will be well for us to do less cooking and to eat more fruit in its natural state. Let us teach the people to eat freely of the fresh grapes, apples, peaches, pears, berries, and all other kinds of fruit that can be obtained. Let these be prepared for winter by canning, using glass as far as possible instead of tin. Now, I'm grateful for that, where it says all other kinds of fruit, because I'm in Jamaica right now, and in this country they have jackfruit, which is delicious, sweet sap, custard apples. Thank you, Jesus, for fruit, and I'm so glad that we're able to eat it. And it also saddens me that there's so much lies going around that we shouldn't eat fruit, or eat fruit in moderation. Don't eat fruit if you've got cancer. Don't eat fruit if you've got diabetes. Don't eat fruit if you've got candida. These things, these are lies, right? It's not true. God is not going to give us something to eat that is going to cause a problem. Okay? I'm going to be developing this as we go along. But let me tell you now, don't be frightened of God's food. Don't be frightened of it. Don't be frightened of what God is saying is the best food for us. For the end times. He knows that we're in the end times. He knows there's going to be lots of disease and sickness in the end time. And He's given us lots of fruit to eat, because it's the fruit that's going to help heal the body. Yes, there's sugar in it, but it's not bad sugar. It's good sugar that your body and your brain needs to function on sugar. Your muscles need to function on sugar. But they're so alkaline forming the fruits, and there's so much other vitamins and minerals and all sorts of things that's not even been discovered yet in the fruit that the body can understand and makes use of, right? You don't need to worry about it. What you do need to worry about is too much fat. Now anyway, we're going to talk about that in another video as we go along. But don't be frightened of fruit, but it does need to be eaten in the right way. Okay, and I'm going to be talking about that as we move on. So it says, care should be taken to have all fruit in as good possible condition as possible. In the end, good food is the cheapest, because I know sometimes budget-wise we end up, basically sacrificing our health because of lack of money. And we shouldn't do that really, because good food is the cheapest in the end, because our health is so vitally important. And we don't want to, we want to look after ourselves basically. So good food is the cheapest in the end. That's what the spiritual prophecy is saying. Vegetables that are stale or of poor quality are likely to be unpalatable and unwholesome. So with fruit, ripe and fresh, they are as wholesome as they are delicious. Ripe and fresh is the key word here, because I know a lot of fruit is picked way before it's ready and expected to, you go into the supermarkets. I know in England, you go into supermarkets and it says, like pineapple, they say it's ripe. And when the thing's green, pineapple skin is supposed to be like an orange, golden, yellowy kind of colour, and they say you must ripen it at home. Kiwis are supposed to be basically things are picked too early, and they say take it home and ripen. A lot of things go bad before they actually ripen, Anyway, it says ripe and fresh are as wholesome as they are delicious, but partly green, decayed or overripe fruit should never be eaten raw. When cooked, unripe fruit is less objectionable. So far as possible, however, we should use fruit in its natural state. The more we accustom ourselves to use it fresh from the tree, the greater will be our enjoyment of fruit, and the more benefit we will receive from its use. Now, this is where country living comes in, and having your own garden and having your own orchards and things growing, and being able to watch a sweet sap on the tree ripening and picking it and eating it straight, or an apple or whatever. In England you get pears, apples, plums, and berries and things like that. You just watch it grow and ripen and eat straight from the tree when it's ripe, rather than it being picked super early and gassed with some carb, whatever they gas it with to force ripe things, and it looks pretty but it's got no taste. And that's why people don't like fruit a lot of the time, because the taste isn't there, and the taste is minerals and vitamins. If it's lacking in taste and colour, it's lacking in minerals and vitamins, and therefore if it's lacking, it's not going to be in you, is it, when you eat it? So, but anyway, the point is, try to find the best fruit you can find that is ripe, as fresh as you can get it, as tasty as you can get it, because that's what we're supposed to have. So, fruit, glorious God-given fruit. Fruit, if it can be obtained, is the best article of food. The best article of food is fruit. So this is why I have a hard time understanding and believing when people tell me because somebody's got cancer or diabetes or any other disease that they're not allowed to have fruit, or they have to have it a limited amount. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. And I help people, and I work with people, and everybody always improves their health when they come to stay with us, and they eat a lot of fruit, and they're sitting there a bit nervous, thinking, am I supposed to be eating this? Am I supposed to be eating this? And then in the end, they're feeling better, and then they realise yes, they can eat it, but you have to know how to mix things properly, and that's what I'm going to be sharing as we move on. But anyway, the Lord desires those living in countries where fresh fruit can be obtained during a large part of the year to awake to the blessing they have in this fruit. The more we depend upon the fresh fruit, just as it's plucked from the tree, the greater will be the blessing. Some, after adopting a vegetarian diet, return to the use of flesh meat. This is foolish indeed, and reveals a lack of knowledge of how to provide proper food in the place of meat. Now, it just tells you here, if you started being a vegetarian and you go back, it's because you just don't know what to eat, and then you end up reverting back to what you know, and you just enjoy it because you know you don't know how to make stuff enjoyable. And that's where more knowledge, more training, you know, it says we will learn what to do. And that's what I'm trying to be here for, to try to share things that will help people to understand what they can have from what they can't have. That's going to be enjoyable still. And be able to maintain your weight, either gain weight or lose weight, you know, and be healthy and strong. So the next quote says, make fruit the article of diet to be placed on your table, which shall constitute the bill of fare. The juices of fruit mingled with bread will be highly enjoyed. Good, ripe, undecayed fruit is a thing we should thank the Lord for, because it is beneficial to health. If something is beneficial to health, why would it be forbidden just because you're not in health? Surely, if something is good for the health, you know, when you are in health, it's going to be good for health when you're not in health. Okay, so please do not be frightened of fruit. And yes, sugar, white, processed, horrible, nasty, you know, nutrient stripped sugar is bad. White, processed, horrible stuff. Anything white and processed is bad, right? We know that. That's common knowledge now. We're not talking about that. That is going to definitely feed cancer, because there's no nutrients in it. It's just acidic, and it's just fuel for cancer, and fuel for candida, and fuel for the body to not be able to deal with the insulin and everything with diabetes. So that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about natural sugars in an apple, in a mango, in jackfruit. Okay. So this is the food that God has given to us, and we should enjoy it, and we should like it, and not feel guilty for eating it. All right. So my last slide here now says, so now we know that grains were given after the fall. Okay, and we know that fruit should make up the majority of our diet. So what about vegetables, nuts and legumes? Where do they come into it, and how do we combine them? And that's what my next video is going to be all about. And you know, we have, if you look online, you'll see all sorts of different diets, different things, paleo and keto and vegetarian, vegan, raw, and you know, all sorts of different things, and they've all got different pyramids of what they should, what they think each diet should be based upon. Now I've got a little diagram here that I put together, and the bottom of it is fruit, because that's what we're supposed to eat most of, fruit. And then we're supposed to have more leafy greens, the legumes, the peas and beans, you can sprout them. And then we're supposed to have the grains and root vegetables and nuts and seeds, just a handful, a small amount, you know, every day, and that should be enough. Okay, now like I said, I'm going to be elaborating on this as we go along, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been informative for you, and give me a thumbs up if you like the video, share the videos, subscribe to the videos, and I will be seeing you in the next one.